So a complex fraction is just a quotient of two fractions, right? So if you remember when you simplified these things, remember if we were doing it horizontally, it's the old keep, change, and we would flip it, right? Let's go ahead and do it vertically though. So we'll multiply by the reciprocal, bottom and top. So 7/6 over 7/6 leaves us with just a 1 on the bottom. 42 over 42. Now on the top it looks like we got negative 2 times 7, 5 times 6, which reduces to negative 7 over 15. Let's do it with some variables now. Go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal again. If I do it to the bottom, gotta do it to the top. So I have a 1 on the bottom. This becomes xy over x squared y squared. It looks like we can cancel. I'm left with 1x on the bottom there, right? And then I have 1y on the top, 2y's on the bottom, so it leaves us with 1y on the bottom. And so we just have a 1 over xy. Let's do a little bit more complex, if you will. This one, let's go ahead and multiply it by the reciprocal. In fact, I'm going to make this a u try. Why don't you try this one? Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, go ahead and check yourself there. Multiply by the reciprocal. Should get that 3x squared y over 13. And then the next one's also a u try. So go ahead and try that next one as well. So here's our next one. You can go ahead and compare that one as well. 4cd squared over 5. All right, now let's go ahead and do it where we've got again, another fraction over a fraction, right? But a single fraction is a rational expression, x plus 10 over 3, over another rational expression, x minus 2 over x. So we can go ahead and, again, as long as you've got one fraction on the top, one on the bottom, we can go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal again. And that again leaves us with 1 there. So this becomes the numerator times numerator, x times that x plus 10, and then 3 times that x minus 2. Okay, you can leave it right there. We can't reduce it anymore anyways. Or if you feel like it, you can distribute those terms through with the distributive property. Okay. Now, where we run into trouble with multiplying by the reciprocals, if we do not have one fraction on the top and one fraction on the bottom, like with this case. Here we have 1/2 minus 1/3 on the top, right? So what are we going to do to get those two together? Get a common denominator, exactly. So we'll get a common denominator and put those two together on the top, get a common denominator at the bottom, put those two together. Then we'll have a fraction over a fraction. And we can go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal again. And then we'll just do it with variables. So our common denominator of 2 and 3 is 6. I'm going to multiply. So this becomes, I'm just doing the numerator right now. 2 times 1 is 2 minus, oops, that's a 3. I'm sorry, that's a 3 minus 3 over 6 minus 2 over 6. And now let's do the denominator. Similarly, the common denominator on the denominator is 18, so I got 15 over 18 minus 1 over 18. So this becomes 3 minus 2 all over 6, so 1/6. Then we got 15 minus 1 all over 18, so we got 14 over 18. And I'm going to go ahead and reduce that 14 over 18, that's 7/9. And now I'm going to go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. 9/7. Now that I got one fraction over one fraction. So there's my 1. So this becomes 9 over 42. Both of those go into 3. So I'd have 3 And 42 divided by 3 is 14. So 3 over 14. We have you guys try this next one right there similarly. We pause it. Get 25 over 14. Dennis. So get a common denominator here. Give that an x and an x. Over here it's got to be a 7x. So now we have a common denominator, x plus 6 all over 6x, all over x minus 7 all over 7x. And notice we have one fraction over one fraction. So now we're okay multiplying by the reciprocal. Anything cancel? Notice those x's do cancel. Let's keep going here. Right now this is 11 over 1, so I got to give it an x. This is 8 over 1, so I got to give it an x. So this will become 11x plus 1 all over x. Denominator will be 8x minus 1 all over x. Again, I've got a fraction over a fraction, so let's multiply by the reciprocal. So this becomes x times 11x plus 1 over x times 8x minus 1. Notice our x's cancel. And so we just got 11x plus 1 over 8x minus 1. Go ahead and let you guys try that next one there. Check yourself there. Pause it if you need to. Let's move on to the next one there. This is x over 1, so I got to get a common denominator of x. The denominator is already one fraction, so this will become 4 plus x squared all over x squared plus 4 all over 10. So we can go ahead, and I'm going to write that as 4 plus x squared, same thing as x squared plus 4. Do that because I noticed that x squared plus 4 on the bottom. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. It's gone. Or we have a 1 in the denominator, so now we got, and then notice, see that x squared plus 4 and that x squared plus 4 is going to cancel. So we're just going to be left with 10 over x on this. That complex fraction. Alright, let's do that next one here. It says a 1, give it a common denominator again. So we have 13 minus x squared all over x. On the bottom I have x squared minus 13 all over 7. Now notice, like before, and I have one fraction over one fraction, but these are pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a negative out of that. And so that'll be, if I take a negative out, that'll change those signs. See how that's negative x squared plus 13 is still the same thing, right? So I just took a negative out because when I flip this, that x squared minus 13 is going to cancel for me. So see that, and that ends up being gone. So what you're left with is the negative 7 all over x. All right. going here. This one. Notice I have a y squared, but I don't have a 4. So give this a 4. Give this another y. On the bottom, I already have a y on each one and a 3, so I got to give that a 3. So this will become 44 minus y all over 4y squared all over 9 plus 11 is 20 over 3y. So I do have a fraction over a fraction. We'll multiply by the reciprocal. Now notice I've got the y here on the top. I got 2 on the bottom, so it's going to leave me 1 left over. So this will just end up being 344 minus y all over 80y. Have you guys try that? Check yourself on that. You try it one. Notice the y squared minus 225 does factor. And we'll keep going with this here. So now we're going to get a common denominator of x plus 9. This is 1 over 1, so I got to give it an x plus 9. X plus 9. This is a 1 over 1. It needs an x plus 9. X plus 9. So this becomes 9 minus 1 times x plus 9. This is all over x plus 9. All over 9 plus 1 times x plus 9. All over x plus 9. Let's clean that up a little bit. Distribute that. So we got 9 minus x minus 9 over x plus 9. And we're finally to the point we can multiply by the reciprocal. Notice our x plus 9's cancel. So we're left with negative x over x plus 18. Similarly on this one, get a common denominator of x plus 2. This is 2 over 1, so give it an x plus 2. And you'll have now distribute the 2. Distribute the negative 2. Now we'll go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. Notice our x plus 2's cancel. So we have 2x plus 18 over negative 2x plus 16. Notice I could take a 2 out of that on the top. Let's see if anything. And I'm going to take a negative 2 out of this one. And 2 over negative 2 is just a negative 1. So negative parentheses x plus 9, or you could just say negative 9 minus negative x minus 9 over x minus 8. I'm going to pause it while I let you guys try that next one. Check yourself on that one. Pause if you need to. We'll jump into the last couple here. If you remember a negative exponent, x to the negative 5, that's the same as 1 over x to the 5th. Y to the negative 3, that's 1 over y to the 3rd. And over here we've got 1 over x to the 4th plus 1 over y squared. So we got to get a common denominator. So I got to give this x to the 5th, x to the 5th. I got to give this one y to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. And then in my denominator, it looks like I got to give this x to the 4th, x to the 4th. This one y squared, y squared. So let's see what we got here. So I have y to the 3rd plus x to the 5th. So x to the 5th plus y to the 3rd. This is all over that x to the 5th, y to the 3rd common denominator. All over y squared plus x to the 4th. All over x to the 4th, y squared. And now I have a fraction over a fraction. So we can go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. Let's see what we got here. We have x to the 5th plus y to the 3rd times x to the 4th y squared. Down here we got x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, x to the 4th plus y squared. And notice there's 4 x's on the top. I could cancel because that's all being multiplied. So there's going to be 1 left over x right there. I got 2 y's on the top here, 3 on the bottom, so I'm going to have 1 right there. Okay, so I'm going to have x to the 5th plus y to the 3rd over xy, x to the 4th plus y squared. Bless you. That's x to the 5th y if I distribute that, plus xy to the 3rd. And we're all done right there. Have you guys try that next one? Alright guys, go ahead, check yourself on that. Pause it if you need to. Thanks for taking notes. See you next time.